Hello and welcome back to my F1 2017 career mode for episode 4 at Sochi, Russia. I wasn't expecting much really, to be honest, from this weekend. I thought we would, finish about mid-range, mid-pack, but then when I got into the practice, the car felt amazing. We were really on the pace, smashing all of the targets and everything. But then when qualifying came along, it was a little bit of a different story because it was wet and the car didn't feel good at all in the wet. It didn't want to turn in. It just didn't want to drive, really, to be honest. As you can see there, just struggling to pull it around the high speed corners and the low speed corners. But with the mid speed corners I'd say they were okay. But if, as you can see here, we just can't get the car turned in. We get it on the brakes, try to get it turned. It just does not want to have any of it. So that was not the best start, to be honest. But anyway, we soldier on for another lap, hoping for a bit better this time as we come around that really long sweeping bend. That's a very nice corner. As we come into here, we get it better than last time. Still run very, very wide. I think we need to take a little bit more curb through there, but we don't want a corner cut. As we are coming into the penultimate corner, we get slowed down a little better this time, but still not good enough, running wide in there. And that actually costs me in the race, which is quite unfortunate. So here we are, and what I done is I went back into the pits, and then, because as I heard the track was drying out, I went into the back of the pits and there weren't enough time to get back out for another lap on dry tyres to see if we could salvage something. So here is the starting grid.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Hulkenberg, Palmer, Ocon, Sainz, and Daniel Kvyat, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen, and Ricciardo, Alonso, Van Dorn, Williams, and Marcus Ericsson. Massa and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are about to start the formation lap. Yeah, just doing the usual cycling through the gears, get the tyres warm and the brakes warm. Sorry for the yawning, I am up early this morning. As we come round, so here we are, pulling up to our grid slot, on our grid slot, and up to 5 red lights, and away we go. We get an absolutely monstrous start, slicing through the middle of Alonso and Van Dorn, and then alongside Magnussen, I believe, and who is that? Grosjean ahead, I think. As we are quite far back at this stage, but we dive up the inside of a lot of cars through there, as we see Sainz go side by side up there with I don't know, is that Ocon? Yeah, Ocon or whatever, up the inside of Ocon or Ocon. I'll call him Ocon for now. Up the inside we go, now chasing down Sainz into the mid part of the lap. We make a massive corner cut there. I don't know why that happened, but I found it's just so easy to corner cut at this track, and track extends. We make a massive dive bomb up the inside as we are now chasing down Raikkonen. I found he qualified quite far back on the grid, to be honest, but it doesn't really take us that long. But yet again, extending track limits, and it's just, I found it so easy around this track. I need to sort that out really, and I need to brake a bit earlier. But here we are as we just dive up the inside of Sainz and Raikkonen in the same corner as we now chase down Perez, I believe. And now we are coming up the inside of Perez, Hulkenberg, and nearly Verstappen, because they made an error into that corner, which allowed us to capitalise on that and pass the others. So now we have the project of chasing down Verstappen. Then moving on slightly later on in the lap, we make a massive dive bomb, which was so bad and so unworthy I should never have done that. I don't know why I did that. I made a massive dive bomb, and then as we got past him, made a lot of contact. Then Hulkenberg gets behind us. We tried to defend, and I just found he drove into me as I moved over. He didn't move with me. He stuck his line, which I mean is fair enough, but he didn't make no effort whatsoever to stop that. And we run wide again, very very wide. And Raikkonen, we were caught napping, and he slips right through. And Perez is back down my outside. So we couldn't catch up to him, and now we are pulling into the pit lane, get it nicely slowed down for a pit stop. We just didn't have the pace on the hut because we started on the harder compound tyre to get the pace towards the end of the race, and so hopefully that is exactly what we will have. A very fast pit stop there by the Williams team. So as we are now coming out of the pit lane, where are we going to rejoin? We are in... Oh, I'm still not sure where we're going to rejoin. Is that P9 at the moment? So temporarily we are sitting in P9. It took us quite a few laps to chase down Perez, and obviously everyone else made their pit stops, but we made a very nice move up the inside to put us into 4th place, and after that it was just a matter of defending. And I was, to be honest, I was thinking at this point, yeah, 4th place, I'm pretty happy with that, considering we started 17th. I mean, our race pace has just been so much better than our qualifying pace. So yeah, I thought. And then as we skipped to the last lap, out of nowhere, I misjudged the braking, run very wide, and then next thing I know, Perez has passed me. Tried to look up the inside into that corner, couldn't get him. As we chased him down, was very worried at this point. I thought I'll stay behind him for this one, and which was kind of a good idea that I let him pass, to be honest, because now I have DRS, so really the overtake should be a breeze. As I look for the outside, so I get the inside for the next corner very forcefully, and brake a lot earlier just so I can keep that line as we are coming through the last few corners to take the checkered flag. But P4 I thought, yeah, that's not too bad from a considering we started P17. It was a very uneventful race. We got all our overtakes done in the early section of the Grand Prix, so there we go, 4th place. But then we got a penalty. So I actually must have accidentally cut that bit out, but we got a penalty, which is very unfortunate. Must have been from, I think it was from track limits, what I must have not seen. But that is very unfortunate to leave with only 1 point from that instead of about 12 or something what it is. That could really hurt us in the championship race, but it was a good race, to be honest, and I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and make sure you tune in for the next race. See ya.